Awesome. So there are also a couple more traditional tech stocks in the future of work part of the basket. Adobe, I think a lot of people, what comes to mind is, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. Microsoft is, people tend to think about their Office suite and Windows. What are some of the ways that these older tech companies are really transforming and how the pandemic has spurred that along?
Microsoft is a juggernaut, and it's one that's hard for people to wrap their brain around because it is so prominent in we work with the Office suite and Word, Excel, and our operating system. But they've taken a lot of their revenue into the cloud with subscription service. And so we see that cloud and productivity tools make up about 2/3. And it's really interesting that you talk about Microsoft and Adobe because they're actually announced a partnership a little while ago to take on customer relationship management. So CRM is a new segment, the two of them working in conjunction. By the way, Microsoft, as I think you were implying, also has a big gaming division with Xbox. And so as we think about virtualizing work, it's a little crazy to think about this, but what about the virtual reality coffee break or the virtual reality water cooler? And so there are some companies that are uniquely positioned to be able to facilitate a new and different remote working environment. So Microsoft, I think, is one that investors should continue to pay attention to. Really important from a productivity standpoint. And Adobe as well. My 11-year-old wanted a subscription to Illustrator for his birthday this year. And so they're not just talking about PDFs, but they are important in secure document management. However, we've got Photoshop, we've got Illustrator. They also have an artificial intelligence product called Sensei, which actually helps people to do their graphic and document management. And so they are on the cutting edge of artificial intelligence and machine learning in the document space as well.
Awesome. So we're seeing some of these older companies get involved, maybe disrupting something like Salesforce, maybe disrupting something like DocuSign. Do you see them going after those kinds of markets?
I suspect with time they will. But again, it's such a rapidly growing area. I mean, if we think about the revenue growth that Salesforce has experienced, and just the growth of a CRM sector, which quite frankly almost didn't exist in its modern form 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And whether we talk about something like CRM or we talk about cloud, I mean, these are all new areas. We're just at the beginning of these transformations. And I would argue that what makes these companies really interesting is that you need them when times are good, and you still need them when times are bad. And so that whole notion of we're going to have a reopening trade and all the things that didn't do well are going to come back. That doesn't prevent these companies from still doing well. These companies, had earnings where Microsoft grew their revenues by 18%. Right? It's a multi-billion-dollar company that still managed to get double-digit growth over the past year. And so even if that slows, and even if we do return to the office, we're still going to be using Teams and our collaborative tools. And we need customer relationship management services when the economy's bad, because then it's all that more important to deliver what your clients need in a timely and efficient fashion. And so, I think it's a little bit. I think investors are a little bit prone to think about reversion to the mean, and to say that things can't stay this good for some of these companies. And I think that misses the fact that so many of these businesses didn't exist a decade ago.